Suns really shorthanded, and yet the Knicks, except for a couple of brief sequences late in the third quarter, trailed the entire game.
Yeah, and right from the beginning, too. When you're talking about championship medal, you're talking about teams at that elite level that are championship-level contenders with that kind of talent, a place where the Knicks want to get to. This Phoenix Suns team just showed you that today. With Kevin Durant being a late scratch, and you just had Devin Booker. You haven't had Bradley Beal the whole season so far, with all three have not played together. And so what do you look at and you say, well, do they have enough depth? What can they do? They come to Madison Square Garden, play a very tough Knicks team, and they come out of the gate and they hit them right in the mouth. And Eric Gordon, the wily veteran, came out and said, fine, no Kevin Durant, you still got me. Started knocking down shots. The Knicks had to chase the scoreboard the rest of the way. Jalen Brunson was one guy who had it going from the start. It took too long to get someone else to get on the bus with him. Julius Randle got there in the second half, but as you saw, it just ended up being too little too late because you had to, once again, like you saw on Friday night, make an exhaustive comeback. And still, Jalen Brunson was 5 of 10 from downtown in this game. He needed to be 6 of 10 for us to be still watching some basketball right now. But still, a phenomenal game from him. But overall, it just shows you what the Phoenix Suns have built there. They have 3 stars. We haven't seen them yet. But they've got a bench that people need to start giving respect to.
Brunson, 35. And to your point, I think the narrative about Phoenix was that they were a top-heavy roster.
Yep.
Evidence in this game that they have a whole lot of depth, and they were able to withstand whatever the Knicks threw at them down the stretch.
Yeah, and that's what it took, was down the stretch. And you were wondering, you always see role players, can they still make big plays down the stretch? Well, as I mentioned, Julius Randle, he did get it going in the second half, 21 points. And there you see 2 there, cutting the deficit to 1. Then Nurkic gets the post up on Robinson, and that's back to 3. And that's what just kept chasing and chasing, just needing to get that stop. Jalen Brunson, magnificent this entire game. He ties it at 107. And so, okay, Knicks are at home. Can they continue? Can they get another big late win? Euro step. Now, just before that play, Randle got fouled and didn't get the call. One thing to keep in mind here. Now, you see the ball movement, and once again, Eric Gordon just stays cool, stays calm, off the glass, simple basketball. And then you have this, the great defense. And that's what the Knicks had to do, is get turnovers and get stops, and they did. And then watch this little big give and go. Brunson nowhere to go. Randle keeps moving, and there's 2 points right there. And now it's 111-109. Brunson knocks down this jumper, and now we're tied at 113. Can they get one more stop? Devin Booker right into his shooting hand, right in front of the Knicks bench, right in rhythm, and right on time for the Suns. But one more chance for the Knicks. 1.7 to go. Can he get it off? Bill, if it goes!
We thought it was going in. We thought it was going in.
It hit everything but the net, and that's what it needed to hit. So unfortunately, that shot doesn't go down, and the Knicks lose the game at home. And that's another tough loss at home against a very good team and still an undermanned team. So some frustration, I would imagine, for the Knicks after this game. Not having to do with the second half, not having to do even with that miss by Brunson, having more to do with how they started this game.
All right. Wally Zerbeck helped call the game tonight on the MSG Radio Network. He now joins us from MSG. Wally, your impressions. What do you think?
That's a very well-coached team over there, the Phoenix Suns. Frank Vogel, without 2 of his superstars, still pulled off a big-time win against the hot New York Knicks team on their home floor. I agree with you, Alan. It started with that first quarter. The Phoenix Suns set the tone. Eric Gordon got going from the three-point line. This is a great three-point shooting team. A lot of guys made shots. Keita Bates, Diop, Nasir Little, and how about the game Jordan Goodwin played? He came in there and wreaked havoc off the bench for these Phoenix Suns. Knicks with a heroic effort by Julius Randle and also Jalen Brunson, who had felt like he wasn't going to miss any shots. A 30-footer at the end, in and out. It was right on line. Just a heartbreaking loss for this Knicks team, but give that Phoenix team a lot of credit. They did not mail it in when they didn't have Kevin Durant in the lineup, and they came away with a big road win here at the world's most famous arena.
Hey, Wally, what were you noticing in that first half about how the Knicks were defending Booker? Because Booker was very quiet, and it was all the role players getting it done. And it almost seemed like defensively it got them out of position where they were giving up uncharacteristically a ton of offensive rebounds so the Suns could get all those second chances. Was there a difference in the defense in that first half?
Well, that's what a superstar does. You have to pay so much attention to Devin Booker. We saw it all night long. The Knicks were running double teams at him to get the ball out of his hands. But when you do that, you're in scramble mode on the back end with your defense. It's tough to find bodies. I guarantee Frank Vogel told his guys, if they're going to double Devin Booker, take that first open three and go try to get some offensive rebounds, because the Knicks were constantly in scramble mode and it was tough for them to find bodies. Now in the second half, I thought they completely picked up their defense, did a great job of pressuring the ball and also playing the passing lanes and making it difficult for Devin Booker to find those open shooters in the corners and stuff. But it was just too little too late, and an outstanding shot by Devin Booker. He had two guys draped all over him. I thought the Knicks did everything they could to try to make it a difficult shot on that last possession. That's just a star making a big play.
You know, Wally, you watch these games and you watch Jalen Brunson, and we're here, and you had the sense that he was going to do something to pull it out again, and he almost pulled out a miracle to force overtime.
He's been so good. I mean, I challenge you to find anyone that's been better in the clutch than him. He's made big shots for this New York Knicks team all year long. Whenever they need a bucket, they know where they're going to go. He also makes great decisions at the end of the game. And I like the Knicks offense down the stretch. They didn't settle for the first shot. They didn't take bad shots. They didn't go one-on-one. They moved the ball side to side. Emmanuel quickly touched it a bunch at the end of the game. Julius Randle got a couple good looks. And Jalen Brunson, you know, is going to make the right play. So offensively, they were really good throughout the course of this whole game, especially when the defense was ratcheted up at the end. It's just unfortunate they couldn't get that final stop that they needed.
All right, Wally, we appreciate it as always. We'll see you Tuesday night.
You got it, boys. Bring it home.
All right, talking about Jalen Brunson here, and Wally mentioned his ability to distribute. Tied a season high with 8 assists tonight. He go with the 35 points.
He was literally doing everything for the most of like two quarters and change. And he had to, and it was not just the scoring aspect, and of course we're going to show you all the scoring. He did a great job in the first quarter because somebody had to answer Eric Gordon, who had 11 points, so he came out and gave you 12. Actually, Gordon had 12 also. Somebody had to get something going. One of the best first quarter scorers in the league this year. But the assists you're talking about as well, distributing the basketball, he was at one point also leading the team in rebounding in this game. There was a point where the smallest guy on the floor was leading the Knicks in rebounding, and that's something to think about. He was saying, I got to do that too. Fine, I'll do that too. Just waiting for someone else to show up on the court with him and try to get this win. But this is a guy that I think we are now learning about in New York, a year now into his tenure here, that he plays with that kind of toughness. And the more teams try to play him physical and beat him up and knock him around, the more he almost likes it. It's almost like, you know, he's not getting tired, he's not getting killed, he's getting mad. And it wakes him up and gets him going. And it's a matter now of, can there be a second guy that comes with him in a game? Because defense is focused so much on him, it's got to open up space for others. And Julius Randle took advantage of that in the second half.
You look at Brunson, we know about his ability to run the offense, his amazing footwork, finishing around the basket. But how about the free ball shooting? 5 for 10.
Yeah.
He's getting close to 50% from three for the year.
Yeah, we're seeing, actually, it's funny because they're playing a Suns team that has a bunch of guys shooting like 45% from three, and Kevin Durant, who didn't play tonight, shooting 52%. So in the league, we're seeing a three-point shot just going up and up as far as efficiency. And for Jalen Brunson, it was something, remember, last season when he came in, career good, like high 30% shooter, and then shot 40 last year. So it's an element he started adding to his game, and he's taken it to another level because, again, with his size, what are teams going to do? He loves the footwork. He loves to get into the paint. But if they drop off him, he's got to make them pay. Now that he does, they've got to play up on him. That's to his advantage. So he continues to work on his game. And this is why when we start now, as we get closer and closer, the conversations, the voting will start soon about All-Star. This guy had better be an all-star this season. He is starting off the season just like he left it last year at an all-star level, and coaches around the league have all started to acknowledge that Jalen Brunson is an all-star point guard in the NBA.
It's already his 5th game, Allen, this year with at least 30 points, so surely off to a great start.